Hello there and welcome back everybody to another episode of Cast and Chill. It's been, I think, about 6 months. I think or maybe even longer. I think the last time I played Cast and Chill was like at the beginning of summer. And there's been a big update. It's the winter update. We can now run around on the ice. Maybe some of you are like, lakes freeze? They freeze where I am. They're already frozen. I don't think they're frozen enough to go snowmobiling on like we have here. But I thought we'd revisit the game. There's some stuff I haven't done yet, and a bunch of people are like, now's the time. Before we get into me rambling about winter, because that's what we're going to talk about today, let's get ourselves outfitted for the winter time. I don't like this yellow mustard color. That's horrible. I'm going to go with this black. That looks sleek. Like a chainsaw through cedar. I own a chainsaw. It is kind of fun. So that's good. And then I also, because I love this game, I purchased the DLC, which gives me 2 different companions. It gives me a cat, which I love cats, and then we have a Burmese mountain dog. Well, I'm going to take the cat. I'm a cat boy. And then I need to outfit my dude for the winter here. I know there's the earmuffs here, but I'm more of a hat. There's like a furry hat flap. There we go. These flaps can come down over your ears if your ears get cold. And then is there like a winter parka? That's a vest. I do wear a lot of vests in the winter, like puffy vests. All right, the clothing options are limited. Let's go blue vest, red pants. That seems like something I'd wear. Yeah, we'll stick. I didn't change skin colors. And now we're going off to go drill a hole through the ice with our beautiful cat. And then we'll talk about winter. Ooh, bunny! All right, let's stop right here. Down. Oh, he gets off on the ice. Over here, okay. Oh, he's following me. He's so cute. Where are we going? Okay, don't go too far. I don't want to walk back to my snowmobile. Drilling through. Oh, we have a hand drill. And just the seat, man. That's crazy. Ice fishing species discovered. So, yeah, if you're not aware, in the northern climates of North America, the ice tends to freeze in the wintertime, not just like at any time of the year. And later in winter, it's early winter right now, but later winter, the ice gets, multiple feet thick. So you can walk around on the ice. You can usually drive around on the ice up here in Minnesota. I don't know what bait I'm using right now. I should probably check my book. Drop shot, okay? I think that might be what I actually have on my rod right now. So we have drop shot, spoon bait, wacky worm, blade bait. It's kind of all across the board there. Let's try to go for these little dudes. You guys, what are you guys? The yellow perch likes the wacky worm. All right, let's swap out some stuff here. Yeah, the ice gets really, really thick up here. You can walk around on it. You can drive around on it later in winter. A lot of people tend... No, I wouldn't say a lot of people. Every year, there are some people that drive around on the ice when you shouldn't. Oh, I got a fish. Reel her in. Oh, new species yellow perch. It's a small guy. I'd like to get these bigger ones that are further down. Yeah, you want the worm. But every year you hear about people that drive out onto the ice when they shouldn't. And then their cars go through the ice. Oh, trophy weight. Heck yeah. Let's go get the other ones. Oh, the other big ones have gone away. What are you? Are you going to come over here or do I have to move my ice hole? The interesting thing about ice fishing is you have to punch a hole through the ice. If you're a badass like this guy, you will just sit out on the ice, but you definitely need to be wearing more clothes than he is. It's very cold. More times than not, it's very windy because there's no, cover. from the wind on the lake. Because it's just an open expanse of ice, right? Nice. We've got all the yellow perch I care about here. Oh, the cat! Can I give the cat a fish? That'd be hilarious. Can I be done? Okay, we're done with this hole. You gotta be careful when you go ice fishing, though. Because people... I think you're supposed to... It's been a very long time. I've gone ice fishing twice in my life. When you go ice fishing, though, you drill holes through the ice, right? And eventually they'll freeze over, so it's not such a big deal. But I'm pretty sure you're supposed to mark them. Not everybody marks their holes in the ice. And if you don't have an ice house over the hole, it can cause some problems. What kind of fish are you? So beware. I've definitely stepped in a hole. I think that... Is that a northern pike or is that a muskie? Blade bait, spoon bait. I guess we'll find out. You're so small. Oh. You're not. You're just interested. Let's try the spoon bait. And then if he doesn't bite, we'll go with the blade bait. I think we got to go small spoon bait here. Because these are not very large fish. Which does kind of make sense. When you go ice fishing, it's not because the fish are super... Alright, you are not interested at all. It's not because the fish are super big at that time of year. It's just because you want to get out and drink beer on the lake. Medium? I think we have to go medium. There is no small blade bait, which is kind of interesting. You could just downsize all of these. Like, this could be large, this could be medium, this one's small. What a strange naming convention. Unless there's a smaller blade bait and I haven't unlocked it yet. You guys interested in this one? Aha! Ooh, look at that guy down there. Nah, you are a northern pike. So yeah, ice fishing's fun. It's mostly just like an excuse to be outside, I feel like. Which I've talked about this before on Cast and Chill, but I'm a big fan of the outdoors. Especially in the wintertime, if you can do anything that gets you outside in the wintertime, I think I'm all for it. This is a much bigger northern. We have a tussle on our hands. The interesting thing about the ice fishing in this game is there's a single point of entry. The line does not... It has to come through the ice at the hole, right? I wonder if I've never thought about this when I was ice fishing. But do you need a much stronger line? Because if the fish starts to wrangle like this, like you've got this inflection point where the fishing line is coming through the ice. So now you have this like edge that it's being tugged against, and does that make it much more likely to snap? It's kind of interesting. You can tell I never caught a fish when I went ice fishing. I was also very young. Are we all done, kitty? I think we've filled our ice fishing bucket. Oh, where am I going? All right, come on, kitty. We gotta go back to the dock and turn in our catch. So yeah, ice fishing's kind of fun. If it's real cold, I think you have to do it at least with like a tent. They make these pop-up covers that you can put down and just like sit inside, and it protects you from the wind. Yellow perch is not a moneymaker, y'all. Neither are the northern pike. Okay. Back with a bounty. Let's get this guy. Oh, I have to discover the new species before you'll allow me to buy them? All right. Well, back out we go, I suppose. Let's go to the far side of the lake. See if we can't find some cool fish out there. So yeah, ice fishing's pretty cool. I think it's a fun time to get outside in the winter. You gotta dress appropriately though. One of the funny things about Minnesota is I feel like everybody knows a guy who will go walking around outside in shorts when it's below freezing. Below 0 degrees Celsius for the Europeans and Canadians and everybody else. And then below 32 degrees Celsius if you're interested in knowing the imperial units. For the Americans. If you're American and you don't know what below freezing is, you've lived a privileged life. All right. What do we got going on over here? Who are you? A new species. He's got a pink tail. This is a big fish down here. Anything way down there? Okay, we've got this pink-tailed beast. What is that guy? You? Are you a tiger muskie? You're the only one who has fins that are somewhat the same color. So let's go get... It's a crankbait fish. Pull this back up. There's some big ones down there, so let's try that. All right, crankbait. This is blade bait. Bobber. Big crankbait. One of the important things about winter in Minnesota, or just anywhere cold, is that you have to prepare clothing-wise. One of my I think I talked about this in a previous episode, but one of my favorite things about people who aren't from Minnesota, like famous people who aren't from Minnesota coming to Minnesota, is like their reaction to our weather. So back in, was it 2018 when Minneapolis hosted the Super Bowl? I can't remember. You can tell I'm old. I'm losing, like, not even that old, but I'm losing like my grip on when things happened, especially like post pandemic. I'm pretty sure it was pre-pandemic. But like lots of celebrities come to the Super Bowl, right? And it was in February when the Super Bowl is. And February, like early February, late January, tends to be the coldest time of the year around here. It's when like the Arctic Circle jet stream has kind of collapsed and it allows the Arctic Canadian air to come down. And so we had all of these celebrities in Minneapolis for the Super Bowl. And lucky for them, US Bank Stadium where the Vikings play. Oh! That guy's out of here. This is the only rod I have, I think. Unavailable for ice fishing. Yeah, this is the only fishing rod I have. How the hell am I gonna catch that fish? Maybe I'll unlock a different rod when Rusty thinks I'm worthy of the rod. He's like, you need a bigger ice fishing rod for that thing, man. I'm gonna try it one more time. Here he comes. Yeah, not gonna happen. Yeah, that's the only ice fishing rod I have. To break the first ice and beyond. To go even further beyond? Anyway, back to my story about celebrities in Minneapolis. So yeah, they all came for the Super Bowl, and literally everybody freaked out about the temperature. One of my I'm not on Twitter at all, and I wasn't back then either. But I did see there was a tweet from T-Pain, who's from, I think he's from Atlanta, which, you know, Georgia is much hotter in general than Minnesota, and it was particularly cold during the Super Bowl, especially leading up to the game. Like the week before, I think it got down to like -30 at night. We had like a polar event. They call it a polar vortex. It's actually like the polar vortex collapsing, which allows the Arctic air to come down. Anyway, he was like, he said something like, hell isn't warm, hell is cold, and hell is in Minneapolis, because it was so cold. And then one thing that was kind of nice about it is all these rich people bought a bunch of winter gear, and a lot of them are from warmer places. So they flew in for the Super Bowl, and then they didn't need this back home because they don't have, you know, below freezing temperatures ever. So there was actually a charity that put out all of these donation bins at like the Mall of America and the airport and stuff. And they were like, hey, if you don't need your winter gear, go ahead and donate them and we'll get them to people in need. And it was actually really nice because they got a ton of stuff, because outside of even just like rich people, you know, people who were traveling from elsewhere were like, I don't need this like sub-zero parka. And so people donated everything, which was pretty nice, rather than just like throwing it away or something. You are a walleye, so let's get the spoon bait going here. Walleye is Minnesota's state fish. I probably have mentioned that before, but it's been a long time. I can't remember what I've talked about in this series. I think we go small spoon bait because it works for all sizes, and I'm not sure what size that fish is down there. Oh, yep, he's interested. Oh, so is the little guy. I am a firm believer that there's nothing. There is no. I'm gonna sound like an ancient old man saying this, but there's no such thing as bad weather. It's only inappropriate clothing. If it's raining out, you just need waterproof layers. If it's too cold, you just need more layers and wicking layers. Wicking layers actually make a really big difference. I guess it depends on if you're sitting, like if you're ice fishing and not moving a whole lot. Probably not going to be sweating a ton, so the wicking layers aren't as important. But if you're doing stuff like active stuff in the winter, like skiing or snowshoeing, or just like shoveling snow for that matter, like an athletic layer that gets the sweat away from your skin and allows it to evaporate from the clothing rather than your body can really help with the temperature regulation. And then you need an outer layer that keeps all the heat in. So you got your snow pants, you got your winter parka. And then you gotta have good boots in Minnesota, or, you know, anywhere cold. Good boots make a big difference. I feel like you lose a lot of heat through your feet. Good gloves and hats as well. Hats are pretty easy though. You can find a good knit hat, and that'll keep your head nice and warm. Good clothing makes a big difference. This little guy is gonna snag this. Run away! Aha! No, don't go to the other side of the lake. Come back! Where are you going? I have to imagine it's a strange sensation feeling the fish just like zip away through the ice, and you can feel the pressure of it of it taking off, but you can't really see where it's going because, you know, all you can see is the hole underneath. You can see the direction, I imagine, because, you know, it, depending on where it is in the water, pulls in a certain direction against the ice hole. So one of the things people asked me about when I was talking about winter as the theme for this episode of Cast and Chill, people wanted to know, like, what are my thoughts about driving on ice and snow? So, in Minnesota, and other places, I imagine, we're really good at removing snow from our roads. We have, like, tons of infrastructure built around it. Our roads are designed for it. Like, they're designed specifically to be more resilient in that, like, the materials we use and the design of them is more resistant to cracking due to extreme temperature fluctuations. That being said, there have been instances where a couple years ago we had a really, really volatile winter, and this is going to just get worse with climate change. But we were going through a lot of freeze and thaw repeatedly, and that's not good for roads because what happens is the water will pool on the road, get down into cracks and stuff, and then overnight it'll freeze, and that expands and breaks apart roads. Like it happens in nature. That's how like rocks break in the winter and stuff like that, is ice or water will seep down into rocks, it'll freeze, expand, and it actually can apply a ton of pressure to the point over time they will break apart rocks and stuff. So I was going after this yellow-finned fish here. I don't know what kind of fish that is, though. I snagged another walleye here. All right, let's check our book. But anyway, it beat the crap out of the roads. Ah, you're a lake trout. Okay. And a couple years ago, we had a ton of potholes because it broke apart the asphalt. And so we had to deal with that for like a whole winter. Because the interesting thing about trying to repair potholes in the winter is there are two different mixes of asphalt that they can use. There is a harder compound, but it doesn't set at low temperatures. So in the summertime, or if it's not that cold, you can repair potholes with this longer lasting asphalt. In the winter, you can do this kind of like temporary asphalt that is really, really susceptible to breaking loose again. So like a couple years ago when it was freeze thawing constantly, we basically had like, there were some roads in Minneapolis that were like impassable. They were so bad. I forgot. I need to switch to the spinnerbait. I forgot what I was talking about. Or no, I forgot what I was trying to do while I was talking. There we go. Spinnerbait. So yeah. We're really, but outside of all that, we generally are pretty good at. Oh, come over here. Oh, please. All right, that lake trout is interesting. So we're generally really good at removing snow. We have these big plows. That was a huge run up that fish took to the to the bait. We have a lot of plows. They take the snow away, and they generally, like in 24 hours of any kind of snow event, the roads are pretty passable. But even outside of that, you have to be worried about driving on snow and ice, especially when it first starts to snow, because the plows can't instantly be there. So every year, you see people driving like absolute morons on snow and ice. People are very like cavalier about driving on ice and snow. Not a lot of people, but there's enough of them that every year people get into these accidents and you're like, what were you doing? But I have slid on ice before. It's basically just bound to happen if you live here long enough and you drive. And basically the key to driving and you start to slide, whether it's snow and slush or ice itself, the key is to not like panic. Don't slam on the gas, don't slam on the brake. You just kind of ease into it. Oh, we filled up our fish tank. Oh, the cat caught. I was wondering if the cat was gonna have to run behind, but he's a quick cat. But no, you just kind of, you take your foot off the brake, and then you kind of steer into the slide. A lot of it depends on where you are and what's going on. But you want to try to maintain control of the car, essentially. And I think what a lot of people tend to do is they just yank the wheel around and panic because, you know, it's a strange thing. I saw a video. I don't know if this was real or not because I didn't go vet it. Still haven't found what you are for. I wonder if we need to change the time of day. Because if we look at what fish are missing here, is we've got this dude, we got that guy, we got this guy. I haven't caught the channel fish and I haven't caught the muskie yet. The channel Catfish, sorry. Let's try to catch a catfish before the end of the episode here. But I saw this video on YouTube where it was like, it claimed that drivers in Sweden, as part of their driving test, have to demonstrate that they know how to handle a car when it skids from a slide. Ooh, we got a new species? Where? You? There's the catfish. What is a catfish like? Drop shot. Okay. What's the new fish that I discovered? Is it you? Oh, a smallmouth bass. Cool. There's a lot of fish in here. Are you this? Oh, no, that's the smallmouth bass there. Okay. Oops. All right. Try the switch to the drop shot. I don't remember what the drop shot looks like. That one. Oh, he's like a little fish. All right. Let's get me some catfish here. I've never eaten catfish. I've heard they're kind of muddy, is the description. Kind of earthy. Kind of like a carp. Because they like to dig around at the bottom of the lake. Your fish kind of tastes like the stuff that they eat. This guy is so small. I just yanked him out of the water. But yeah, they supposedly, sorry for getting distracted. In the Swedish driver test, they create a slick surface with like water, and then they have the drivers. Oh, kitty, he made a purring sound. They have the drivers drive onto this surface and demonstrate that they can like control the car through a slide. It seems a little reckless, but also I understand the reasoning behind it, so I could see it being true or not. Let somebody fact check this for me. This is why I do YouTube, so I don't have to check things and people can educate me in the comments. But I thought that was an interesting idea. I could see reasons for it. You know, you'd want to show people that people can show that they've demonstrated the ability to control their vehicle in a dangerous situation, especially in a place like Sweden. A lot of ice in Sweden, I imagine, in any of the Scandinavian countries. But also, you are doing something a little dangerous in a driver's test, whereas, you know, at least in America, driver's tests tend to be pretty chill. Just generally showcasing normal skill levels. Where I would say it's a little advanced to be able to control a car in a skid. Maybe it's because, if it is true, the entirety of Sweden is like icy and cold in the winter, whereas the United States, although I guess the states themselves are in charge of administering driving tests, right? So like Minnesota could decide that's part of their driving test, and then, you know, Florida would never because they don't get ice, or the one time they do, it's an apocalypse and nobody's going to know how to deal with it anyway. Come on, catfish. I've heard catfish is pretty good when you fry it. I don't know if anybody eats it just kind of like a fillet. Because of that, it's like earthy, and it's kind of not a great flavor on its own, but if you fry it, you kind of knock a lot of that flavor down. I just yanked him through the ice. All right, we've got space for 4 more fish. Why don't we do that, and that'll be the end of the episode. I think I have enough stuff. I have like this list of things I wanted to talk about in this episode, specifically winter related, and I have enough things that I think I have another entire episode dedicated to just winter ideas. So next episode, we're going to talk about more stuff. Feel free to let me know in the comments. You're like, I want to hear Ben talk about this. Or you specifically want to hear me talk about something in Minnesota or winter related. I think there was another catfish coming, so I'm going to drop this down real quick. But for next episode, I've got hockey, just as an idea, and in Minnesota. Warm food and drinks. Those of you who know me pretty well know I'm a bit of a foodie. And I don't say that to be like, I'm a food snob. I love food. And I particularly like all sorts of food. I love junk food. Like Taco Bell is one of my favorite, like, guilty pleasures. But I also love kind of high class food too. I'm an equal opportunity food enjoyer. I want to go for that. I can't remember what the fish is. I think it's you. I think it's a lake trout, or maybe it's the tiger muskie. Yeah, let's try the crankbait. All of these fish like different types of bait. It's confusing. Yeah, normal crankbait. But I like a lot of different kinds of food. So I'm going to talk about hot food in the winter. Hot drinks. I did talk about appropriate winter wear, so I'm not going to talk about that. I do have a good story. Are you not the fish I thought you were? You definitely don't seem to be the fish I thought you were. I have a good story about getting... That's not the muskie? Is it a northern pike? Here. You look so much like the muskie. It's gotta be a northern pike then if they're not interested. Because they're not interested at all. Alright. What was the northern pike into? The blade bait? Yeah. Medium blade bait. Prepping for winter is another topic. Whoa! Instant grab. You're a particularly small fish, but you're feisty. Jeez, look at this guy go. Let's crank him in here. You can't fight the rod. You're too small. There we go. Okay, so that is a northern pike. It looks a lot like the muskie picture that they have down there. I was gonna say, I don't think this bait is gonna make it past those little guys to get down to the bigger fish over there. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna talk about next episode. Unless, feel free to comment. You're like, I want to know about this particular aspect of the winter. Oh, I could talk about the Aurora Borealis. It's not exclusively a winter thing in Minnesota, but it does happen more in the winter. Plus, it tends to be better viewing in the winter. It's darker early. All right, we've got fish. We're loaded up on catfish. Come on, kitty. We're heading back. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, down in the comments, let me know if there's something you'd love to hear me talk about, whether it's winter related or an entirely different episode topic. Please let me know. If you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Cast and Chill or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.